the same topic after every single major. And it's not who won with what, or if something is broken, or what characters need to be banned. Tournament payout. I saw a great tweet, right? And I think that it should resonate with everyone, especially after the online era. Most of us have been watching and playing in online tournaments mostly, or commentating. Online tournaments mostly, not really a lot of offline locals and offline majors happening until, the start of this year. And I think that a big part of keeping the online scene alive with like small entry fees or no entry fees was because of, shout out to the GOAT, Matcherino. All right, I'm going to just come out and say it, dude. Matcherino is the GOAT. It has kept so many of these online games alive during the COVID era. And I saw this tweet by Rewind. And it's a tweet that really resonated with me. I literally liked and retweeted it as soon as I saw it. We're going to read it out loud real quick. Definitely time for every major to start incorporating crowdfunding. Definitely a slap in the face seeing Evo champs make scraps when every game had 60K plus viewers. I got second for a main stage game and made less than TOs. I love TOs, by the way. Why is crowdfunding not promoted? Why is crowdfunding not promoted? I want to show you guys something. Vortex Gallery, which was the side event for Evo. It was the side event. It was what used to be known as Anime Evo, right? Where all the side games were, including DNF Duel, Soul Calibur 6, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Punch Planet, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. So many games. So many games. We're here at Real Evo, as me and Wonderful Lux like to dub it, right? Vortex Gallery was sick. I watched so many of the Vortex Gallery games, had a blast. We watched a little bit of Ultra Fight Decanter, right? And for Vortex Gallery, not for main Evo, they actually still paid entry fee and venue fee, right? But they had a Matcherino. And Matcherino, all of the ways that you promote money for Matcherino, the way that you get more money, is you use these free codes that give like 25 cents, 50 cents, depending. And then there's also sponsor quests. But there's also a crowdfunding option where you can choose to log in and donate your own money, right? And a lot of people do that. I've been commentating online tournaments for a few months now, probably over a year, I believe. And for the Soul Calibur scene, so many people have that game on their back. They'll donate $5 here, $20 there, $100 here. And we've had like legit online level majors, right? We've had like 50, 60 entrants, which is about the same we get for our majors, right? And when you look at those numbers, you're like, wow, this is like really cool. And the reason why that happens is because Matcherino pulls through. So many people put large amounts of money into the Matcherino crowdfund, as it were, to keep these games alive. We had an online tournament with 74 players. Very small for other games when you think about it, right? But for Soul Calibur, that is very, very, very big. That's like major level. I believe that's about how many people we had at Evo. 76, 78, something like that. And there was over $2,000 in the pot. The exact same happened for Soul Calibur 6 at Vortex Gallery. I believe there was slightly over $2,000. If you look at the smallest game at Evo, the smallest main stage game was Skullgirls with slightly over 200 entrants, right? And it's $10 per entry. So let's say it was like $260 if I'm not mistaken, right? And it was $10 a head. So $2,600. A side game made almost that much money. Now, here's the issue. Look at Soku. Nice. I'll go look at Soku in a second. Now, here's the problem. When it comes to crowdfunding, if it's not promoted well, unfortunately, the pot's going to look very small, right? $112 plus the normal entry fee for whatever the game is. DNF Duel had a little over 300 entrants almost. Yeah, you got me. Nice. Oh, isn't Soku actually a game now? There's actually a game called Soku, isn't there? I don't know if it was at Anime Evo, but I'm sorry, Vortex Gallery. Nice. What was I saying? Yeah, so if crowdfunding isn't properly promoted, unfortunately, But for real, look at Soku, Metroid, and Vortex Gallery. It's insane. Oh, there really is a game called Soku? Fuck you. I knew there was a game called Soku. That's why I didn't think anything of it. If it's not properly promoted, it's such a small amount, right? But these players had extra money added to their pot specifically because people decided they wanted to, reach a certain amount of money in the pot for the game, right? $20 here, $50 here, $10 here. Now, at these bigger levels, it doesn't even need to be huge amounts of money, right? What Rewind says here is great, right? He said if every viewer that watched MK11 had the opportunity to put $1 in, the pot would have been $60K. I love these events, but it truly blows me. It truly blows me. It truly blows me that tournaments are gatekeeping up players from the bags. I think he means blows me away. That tournaments are gatekeeping up players from the bag. Yeah, and then he says, like, how the fuck did Perfect Legend make $12K for winning EVO in 2012 for MK9 in poverty times, but Scorpion Prox made $2K in 2022 with the amount of resources we have today? It's true. That's a huge problem, right? Games are bigger than ever, and the scene is like exploding, right? This is one of the biggest EVOs we've had in a while, or at least one of the most prominent, right? It's one of the biggest featured, and the numbers when it came to the actual stream was huge. But there's nothing to show for it for most competitors, right? Multiverse is a totally different story. But all these other games didn't have any sort of crowdfunding at all. Only the Vortex Gallery games had crowdfunding. Let me look at it. Let me look at the match right now. Yeah, here it is, Soku. Toho Soku. Yeah. Shit, look at that. Soku had $2,727.50. That is amazing for a game that is so small, right? Soku, I assume Soku had something along the lines of, 30 to 40 people? It wasn't like too many. It couldn't have been anything crazy, but because people decided I wanted to add $584 to the pot, it was possible, right? Someone else decided I wanted to add $1,000 to the pot, $500 to the pot. And even without these big numbers, just being able to add $1. Everyone adds $1. Everyone adds 30 cents, 25 cents, whatever, with these free codes and just crowdfunding in general. It's something so powerful for getting these players paid more, right? It's free in the sense that when you're watching it on the Evo stream, you don't have to pay anything. But to know that you could put $1 in the pot and make a big difference in not only the competitive drive for these players, but their payoff as well, right? Right? You're training all year for Evolution. You go to Evolution and you make scraps. What he said here is actually really, really crazy to think about, right? Rewind made second at a main game. It's true. Maybe Mortal Kombat 11 was like the third entered main game, I think. The third least entered main game. But getting second place and making less than the people who organize the event, not the people who like have to play in it and have like the pressures of being on stream and the pressures of like winning on their back, and they make less than the TOs. That's crazy. That's like if I was commentating a tournament and I made more than the people who were in the top 8 as a commentator. I would be like, whoa, that's crazy. I can't believe I just got, look at this nice bag of $7,000. Cool. Like, yes, I would take the money because I did my job. My job was to commentate, but it feels really bad that their job is to compete, and that competition isn't as rewarded, right? So I look at the way it as it stands now, and it seems like as it stands now, you're better off being a TO or a commentator than the competitor. Then what? Then what are you playing for? Sure, you're playing for the accolades, you're playing for the prestige, you're playing for the pride. So if we only had 20 entrants and $2,000, that's crazy. I hope they paid out top 8, not top 3. I hope you won a round and you got paid out. That'd be sick. Oh, I made top 8. Let me get some of that. Let me get some of that. Yeah, he said, this guy said, because no one listens to Bum 163. Bum does House of Chaos, and he uses the match arena for all of his events. And there are major level like events. When I say major level, I mean they have really stacked players because it's New York, and then they also have really stacked prize pools because so many people are watching and having a good time and just putting in $1, putting in $5, putting in $10. And when you're looking at 100,000 viewers, and you're looking at 30,000 viewers, and you're looking at even 10,000 viewers, that makes a huge difference. Yeah, Multiverses has that payout because the support was from the developers. These developers already made their money off the game. They have no reason to support the game. let's be real here, they don't have to support the game, right? But just giving 25 cents or giving $1, Project L is going to be the first fighting game with real payouts? Yeah, probably. That's not true. Mortal Kombat had huge payouts too. Mortal Kombat had huge payouts during the Pro Series for Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat X, and Mortal Kombat 11. And then there was another, the ESL Pro League for Mortal Kombat X. Also had really, really, really crazy payouts. Like, it was fucking insane. They did like 4 ESL Pro Leagues, and first place got like $125,000 each time. I think all of top 8, like everyone who made it to the finals of Pro League, so it was like top 16 or top 8, through the online qualifiers, got paid. But the problem is, we're not even worried about that. We're worried about on the biggest stage of the year, they're not making enough. And I think crowdfunding is great. Like, I'm gonna be real. I come from an online community, right? Like, I didn't do a lot of offline things for Soul Calibur 6. I really didn't, right? Like, I went to my locals, went to a couple of regionals and locals in other cities. Back when the game was like really, really fresh, like San Antonio. I went down to the Valley, went to Houston, right? I did stuff like, Texas Showdown for Houston specifically. I did things like that. But most of what I've been doing when it comes to commentary has been online, right? So most of the community has been playing online, and they've been getting decent payouts from things like Mighty Moves, from things like Wednesday Night Fights. But the payouts for offline event, where you have to pay money to go in, you have to pay money to go in, you have to pay money for the event, are so sparse. They're so small. We talk about this every single time, but I think a big thing is most people, whenever they mention stuff like this, they're looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, they probably made a lot of money from like tickets, merch, sponsorships, selling spots for boots, artist boots, stuff like that. Yeah, they definitely made, maybe they didn't make a huge profit, because I don't think Evo is as profitable as you think it is. I think that after paying everyone, the actual Evo owners probably don't make that much. Maybe they walk away with like $5,000, $6,000 from running the entire event, because they pay their staff, they pay their TOs, they pay commentary, they have to pay for certain guests, for booths, panels, stuff like that. But then they also rent artist alley spots, so it all balances out. And I think they also have to pay for licensing to stream certain games, or they have to ask. Yeah, it costs a lot, and don't forget about how expensive internet is when it comes to needing like that much megabytes per second upload and download for 2 parts of the venue, for Vortex Gallery and actual main Evo itself. It was 2 separate internet connections. That's a lot of money needed. Anyways, basically, most people, whenever they talk about payouts, they're just saying, look, let's take that $10 and turn it into $20 so that everyone who walks in has to pay $20 to enter the game. But I think that this is a way better thing to do. I think that the reason why crowdfunding is so much better is because instead of taking that $10 number and saying, oh, this will translate perfectly, if we take 260 people and multiply it by 20 instead of 10, now there's double the money in the pot. What you're neglecting to realize is that a lot of people that enter games at Evo, they enter multiple games. Like, perfect example, shout out to GC Yoshi. That guy entered so many games. The reason why is because it's $10. $10. You double that price to 20, maybe some of the people you had out of that 260 disappear. Maybe it turns to 200. Maybe it turns to 150. Maybe it turns to 175. And then sure, the pot will be bigger now, right? Maybe. Yeah, now it would be bigger than it was before, but it doesn't correctly correlate every single time 1 for 1. It wouldn't work that way. But with crowdfunding, nothing else has to change, but people who are enjoying the spectacle of it all and the competitiveness of it all get to add extra money to the pot. And I think that's great. I think that this is probably something that majors do need to look into, because if they did it for Vortex Gallery, which was at a major, then I think we could do it for real majors. Anyways, if you enjoyed this talk, as always, we do these things for the YouTubes. Come by the stream. Come by to the stream. Being Thuggish on Twitch as well, right? Not just for the YouTubes. And tell me how you feel about tournament payouts. If you go to your locals, if you go to any events anywhere for fighting games, card games, anything, and if you feel like the competitors aren't paid enough for their hard work and determination. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTube, signing out and saying